Hello, welcome to Box to Board. Now tonight what we're going to look at is an overview of the clans in Legend of the Five Rings role-playing game, and we're going to look at each one, a little bit about them, a little bit about the way they play, and we're going to pick out one of the classes that I think is basically a highlight, and the one I'd be drawn towards playing if I was role-playing, and why. So personal choice, and please comment below to which one you would like. Before we get into it, we're doing heaps of content for this at the minute, so if you don't want to miss it, please subscribe to the channel. Anyway, let's get going. Crab Clan. Now basically these guys guard a wall, and on the other side of the wall are the Shadowlands, and in the Shadowlands there lie all kinds of beasts with otherworldliness. This is starting to sound very familiar if you watch a certain TV program. So basically they defend the wall, and that is their job. To me, the Crab Clan have got, the more I read about them, they're this kind of stoic, techno-nonsense approach, and I really like them. In terms of, I love the way they sound. They're very sort of down to earth, and they're a bit wizened and battle hardened, and a bit not ground down, but they're definitely people who are veterans, you know. Now, to me, the guys that most suit them, the ones that are available, you've got defenders, you've got the scouts, you've got the engineers, and you've got Kumi, which are the purifiers, and you've also got merchants. To me, it's a really tight call between. I love the purifier. I love the fact that you've actually got a character, and the basic idea of these guys are that they are Shugenja and Bushi that go. They're a mix of the two that take out. That are specialised in taking out corruption. So think Inquisitors in 40k, and they paint their faces so that they can't be recognised by otherworldly creatures, and get their name, which I thought was kind of a nice touch. It protects their true identities from insidious tendrils of the Shadowlands, which is just brilliant. I love the idea that these guys are a bit mad in some respects, and a bit, you know, they're kind of brilliant to roleplay those, I think. But then the other side of the coin, I also love the Defender. I think the Defender, again, has got this just ground down quality and this no nonsense approach that would be kind of fun to roleplay as well. So it depends on what your character is as a person and what you want to play. The more flamboyant is going to be the Purifier. The more stoic is going to be that Defender, and that can kind of be fun. The next clan is the Crane Clan. Now, I have a confession to make. I'm not a massive fan of the Crane Clan. They are the quintessentially refined, they're sort of clan, where it's very much around diplomacy and all that kind of stuff. They are the left hand of the Emperor, is what they're described as, whenever you read around a little bit. Now, the Crane Clan is all about doing things properly and doing things right and being polite and courteous, and that really matters to them. So for them, courtesy is massive, and you know they've got some good things in there. They have some really interesting guys that you can play. So you can play an Artificer, which is somebody who has got a big emphasis on the sort of the artisan aspect and bringing in Shugenja as well. So they kind of mix invocations into things like poetry and all this kind of stuff, which is kind of cool. Aesthetics, sorry, not poetry. Dope. They've got the Iron Warrior, which are part of is a highly trained heavy infantry, can hold the line. Kind of cool. They also have in there the Diplomat, which is Diplomat, and they've got the Duelist. Now, the Duelist is probably the more interesting one. I tend to be more combat orientated in my role playing. I think they look quite cool. I think the idea of them is quite cool, and you can have a lot of fun with that. So that they're kind of you know, quite arrogant, and they're very feisty. I think that'd be kind of cool. And they've got an attendant or a pony, which I just love. So you can actually have an attendant, which could be kind of fun for your GM to play as well, and have some moments in that, which could be kind of cool. I quite like that. For that reason, I'd probably go with the Duelist, to be honest, because the attendant, I think from GM point of view, it could be a laugh, and you could have some really good interesting bits, and could be a useful character to have in the party. Dragon Clan. Now, Dragon Clan are to my mind, the guy that sums them up most is the monk. They are basically all about their number one thing is sincerity. They live up in the mountains, they're isolated, they're very individualistic, and they are seeking to make the empire better by bettering themselves. So in some respects they're the most modern of the clans. They certainly are the ones that are least alien to us because we come from quite an individualistic society. So the classes that are available, you've got a mystic, which is kind of powerful and they're pretty cool. You've got an investigator. You've got somebody who's good with the two sword style called a two heavens adept, and you've also got the tattooed monk. Now, to me, the two that I would be drawn towards are the tattooed monk and the investigator. Tattooed monk could be kind of cool. Part of that's probably because I was brought up on the Water Margin TV program and Triptaka, I think it is. And that's sort of, the idea of this monk-like figure with serenity and all that kind of stuff, and the unarmed combat and fitness. And I think they could be kind of fun and they could be useful, and you could have that situation where if you're role playing it, you could just come out with random, profound statements for no other reason, and that'd be kind of fun. I think it could be good. The other one I really do like is actually the investigator. I think the investigator is an awesome class. There isn't anything else quite like it in the rest of the game. So either of those two I'd be drawn towards. The other guys, the Mystic is great. I've forgotten who it is. Mystic, oh yeah, and the Adept, the two Heavens Adept is great, but they're kind of quite common in the game. But to me, the monk's kind of awesome because there isn't anything quite like them. The investigator would probably be the one that I'd tip towards, simply because from looking at GM, and most of the time a GM, as a GM, there's so many things you could bring in there. Then, so the investigator could be a very good driver for variety in your campaigns, and actually. Could be really kind of cool. You could build a whole campaign around the investigator and investigating a murder, investigating something else, and they're trying to work it out, and the other members of the party are part of that process. So that could be quite cool. I would probably go with investigator. I think that sort they're odd and they're naughty in their culture, which is another aspect that could be kind of fun. The Lion Clan. Now, the Lion Clan are the right hand of the Emperor, and the right hand of the Emperor they're militaristic. They are very aggressive. The thing that they favour, the Bushido most important tenet is honour, and their idea of honour is very specific. They are very harsh judges themselves in their actions, and they're very serious and very aggressive. The rules that are available are Commander, Bard, Medium, and Berserker. Now, depending on your character, I think any of those are actually pretty awesome. And in some respects, the Lion Clan, to me, are a bit dull as a clan, but in their classes, because they're a bit, yeah, okay, right, they're the martial, they're the fighty guys, we get the idea of it. But actually, their classes are quite cool. The Commander's very interesting because the way the options that are available to them are this very, very decisive, aggressive, and supportive actually aspects that they can do as well. They've got a few things that they can do that can really help. The Bard, I love the idea of having effectively a cheerleader that boosts the army to great deeds. Really cool. The Medium has got some really interesting stuff that they can do in terms of buffing. They can really, really support your guys, which can be interesting. And they've got some very interesting abilities. And then the Berserker is just an awesome character. Like in terms of role playing, the Berserker is just fantastic. So their aggression is the hallmark of the Matsu style. Direct action is their warword. Bellicose attitude often puts them at odds with the careful strategies of Hakoto, but the Matsu serve the Lion and the Empire with unquestioned loyalty. You could have a lot of fun playing a Matsu Berserker. You really could. Because there's just absolute total aggression in combat. a no-nonsense approach, awesome. Could be a lot of fun. But then the other side of the coin is, and it depends very much on what you want to do. So the Bard could also be quite cool as well, because they've got some pretty nice abilities. Some really nice options there. The Lion Clan, in some respects, quite dull, but I see in terms of classes quite awesome. Now Phoenix Clan, I didn't really want to go for the Phoenix Clan, but whenever I looked at them, and the more I read around it, I just went, these guys are kind of awesome. So they're the magic users, and they want to be the controllers of magic knowledge. They want to be the people who run all that kind of stuff. They are pacifists, sort of, in that they will resort to violence if they have to, but they don't want to. You've got some really interesting classes with them. You've got the Lore Master, which is your sort of archetypal wise man or wise woman. You've got your Elementalist, which is just that potentially very powerful magic user. You've got the Guardians, Shiba Guardians, which are, the ultimate Yojimbo, the ultimate guards, and they are kind of cool. I mean, they're courtier, fighty guys that are kind of awesome. So they approach conflict as a problem to be solved without bloodshed if possible. They're kind of very serious, very stoic. Their commitment to theological study and long hours of meditation have taught the Shiba Guardians how to dance in harmony with elemental kami, called forth by the invocations of the Shigenja. They could be really cool. They could be really cool. And having this idea of these guys who are the guards, very serious guards, for a Shigenja could be kind of a elementalist could be a lot of fun. And then you get Shrine Keepers, which are okay, but they're I'm not really that fussed on them, to be honest. They're not my one thing. They're not my thing. For me, the ones, what I could see happening in a party that would be kind of fun to build a party around would be an elementalist and a guardian. So because often these two and as you read around go together. So it might be kind of fun to have this, this elementalist who is potentially quite powerful, and they've got a guardian who looks after them and protects them while they develop their skills. And you could have a very feisty, very fiery elementalist who maybe is a little bit reckless or something like that. You could do something, you could play it that way. And then it's a very stoic guardian, very serious person. It's been done a lot of media. That could be a lot of fun. But I do find myself drawn to the Lore Master. I think they've got some really nice skills, some really nice abilities. And to be honest, they're kind of cool. That picture just sums them up. It's awesome. Then we go to the Underhand. Now, the Underhand of the Emperor, I've got a whole little set of stuff that they can do that nobody else can do. Not loads, but significant. And it is the Scorpions. Now, Scorpions all wear a mask. It's kind of like we have to. It's kind of what they do. It's one of the things that they do. They all wear masks. The thing about it is the Scorpion Clan are basically they're the dodgy friend that people often have, who will do whatever's necessary to ensure the good of everybody else. They derive a certain ability in that, and they kind of value that in themselves. So they're quite interesting. The Scorpion could be really interesting to bring into a party, purely because if it's a party with other clans, they won't trust the Scorpion, and they will be very nervous around them because Scorpion are feared. So the options you've got are a Manipulator, which is kind of blackmailer / diplomat / spy. You've got the Infiltrator, which is kind of your shinobi. They literally infiltrate situations and wreak havoc. They're agents that try to gain access, and they can do things like they play deep games, shall we say. Then you've got your Illusionist, and you've got your Ward Master. Now, to me, the ones I would be drawn to would be probably the Infiltrator, because I think in a party, in a more traditional party, they're one that people can identify with and make sense of really easily. The Manipulator could be a lot of fun to play if you're interested in being really, really devious and sneaky. and you want to role play that, that could be a lot of fun. But the Infiltrator is the one I think most people would find the easiest to play and could be a lot of fun to play, to be honest. The dodgy friend. Illusionists can be useful. Ward Masters are a bit, nah, they're okay. But to me, it's probably the Infiltrator I would go for, purely because who doesn't want to play that sort of ninja-like character? I'm not saying ninja because the ninjas don't exist in this, but that ninja-like assassin kind of character is kind of quite cool. Then we've got the Unicorn. Now the Unicorn clan are people who went off 1,000 years ago into the wild blue yonder to see if they could conquer more things for the Empire, and came back 800 years later, complete with a lot of foreign knowledge and weird ways, unusual ways, and very much horse orientated clan. So these are a clan that are all about speed, all about adaptability, who value compassion a great deal and have got access to foreign stuff, which is quite significant in the game. So classes that are available are your trader, your master, who can effectively is a bit like an alchemist type character in a lot of games, conqueror and outrider, and also you've got the battle maiden, which is so that the trader is a trader. They've got some interesting stuff they can do, particularly based around foreign goods. The master we've talked about, they actually can charge up talismans with invocations, which quite a lot of people can use, which is kind of cool. The Conqueror is a loud, brash warrior who uses social exuberance as a weapon, in effect, which I kind of like, and I think it's quite cool. And they are an interest. They're very over the top. I like that. Very loud is the big thing with them. The Outrider is what most people associate with the Unicorn, which is very quick, very fast, bow orientated kind of character. And then the Battle Maidens are great, graceful and quiet and silent and formidable in battle. So to me, I would go with the Conqueror because I like that big, loud, brash guy in a party. I think that could be a lot of fun to role play, and I think that their abilities are really good as well. The final option, just to touch on, is the Ronin. Now Ronin are masterless samurai, and they can come from any clan. Incredibly flexible, and actually this could be a lot of fun to play in game, purely because you can really go to town on why they're masterless, and you can create a really interesting backstory. And if you're a player who likes creating a backstory, the Ronin may be the way to go for a lot of people. They're pretty good, and a bit of a jack of all trades sometimes it looks to me in my reading of things, but actually they could be a lot of fun to play. And the fact that, again, a bit like the Scorpion, people would be wary around Ronin. They won't trust them completely because why are they not in a clan? What have they done? And you get then to reveal a bit of your backstory, but you don't necessarily reveal it to everybody all at once. So they could be a lot of fun. So those are the clans, and that's kind of my overview, and it's quick, but it's quite a quick overview of the clans. Out of the 7 clans, which one would I go for? I think for a long time I would have went Dragon and gone with an... If I was pinned down to one thing I would want to roleplay, it really depends on my mood. Dragon Investigator really appeals, but I love the Guardian for the Phoenix clan as well. So to me, actually, in terms of where what I would play, it would really depend on the party I was going to play with. An Infiltrator would be kind of awesome. I quite like that. I really like the Guardian. If I was playing with somebody that I knew well, being the Guardian to their shoot to their Elementalist could be a lot of fun. And also then the Investigator. I love the idea of the Investigator. Those are my top 3, to be honest. Those are my top 3. But there's so many wonderful classes in this game. It's really hard to pick them. Now, we have got so much stuff coming on Legend of the Five Rings, and so many things that we've done already on the channel. Please subscribe if you don't want to miss it. And if you want to join in the conversation, this is a really good place to do it. Jump in and comment below and like and share. And thank you so much for watching, and have a great evening.